No wonder they ran out of wine.
That's what she said. You rolled up in here with your boys. Nobody was expecting them, and y'all acting like you were invited.
Bring your water bottle to church on Sunday because we're turning water into wine. Ha! John chapter 2. Jesus goes to a wedding and has his first big miracle. Adrienne, you're in the pulpit another time, second Sunday in January. What's happening in John 2? What is this story? We might have some sense of wedding of Cana, water to wine, but give us a little bit more of what's going on this Sunday.
Yeah, so this is a really I don't know, seminal story in our faith tradition. It is Jesus's first miracle. I think it can leave a lot of us wondering why this.
Yeah. Of all the things, Jesus helps a party keep partying.
Yeah, Jesus helps a party keep partying. But this would have been a huge cultural event, and it would have been a huge embarrassment to have run out of wine. I think one of the best sermons I heard preached on this was just in the last few months. Reverend Catherine Langford um, talked, just kind of walked us through the culturalness. Um, you know, Jesus and his disciples had been invited to the wedding. She suggested that he kind of rolled up in there with a plus 12. She was like, nobody comes to a wedding with like 12 people. And that his mom was already like irritated.
No wonder they ran out of wine.
That's what she said. You rolled up in here with your boys. Nobody was expecting them, and y'all acting like you were invited. It was like the best. I mean, this is an African American woman preaching this text, and so I just really appreciated her take on that and had never really thought about that. She was like, "Who comes to a wedding with 12 with a plus 12?" Um, and how she and how rude he is, right? And how she doesn't really give him the time of day, but expects that he will make this right. You will make this right, partly because he has, she suggested, disrupted this event, and potentially embarrassed the family. So when she says do whatever he tells you, there's such a confidence um, that he will fix it. Um, and I
Yeah.
and I wonder about that directive for us as well. Do whatever he tells you. Now we've been asking the question, who are you? What are you looking for? Okay, so maybe you have identified who you are, discovered what you're looking for, and now you got to do what you're told to do.
Mm.
And are you ready for that?
Even when it doesn't seem to make sense.
Correct.
Imagine the servants thinking, we just ran out of wine. We're all kind of embarrassed. And now this guy wants us to pour water into the jars and serve that? This is not going to go well. Do whatever he tells you to. Whew.
Whatever he tells you, and like the trust that that takes, the real sort of falling into the holy and relying on God. But it also demands a certain sensitivity, I think, to hear from God. These servants have Jesus right there saying, "Put the water in," but sometimes the "do whatever He tells you" that we get is a little generally more subtle. Um, so prayer helps with that. Silence helps with that. Going for long runs. I think all of those things help to tune our ears and our hearts to the God who's got something to tell us.
I'm doing a little math here quick because I'm reading the text and I've never noticed this before. So he, there were 6 stone jars that they used for the Jewish rites of purification, each holding 20 or 30 gallons. So that means six jars, 30 gallons. That's 180 gallons of water Jesus has them fill up, which equates to 900 bottles of wine. Jesus' first miracle was to drop 900 bottles of wine. Happy wedding gift, everybody.
That's right. That's right.
That's
But they
insane. This
partied
must have
for
been a big wedding.
days, right? These weddings didn't last for just one day. Um, and I don't know, there's also something really luscious about it being the last day of the wedding or the end of the wedding, and the best is saved for last. I think there's something in that for us as well. Perhaps as people who are aging or people whose lives are
Mm.
coming towards the close, when we think about Abraham and Sarah and those for whom God did extraordinary blessings and miracles at the end of life. There might be something in
Yeah.
here for us old people.
Yeah, we think that all the good stuff happened in the first years, the early years. The good wine was first, and then you're not going to notice the less quality, the bottom shelf, watered down wine at the end. But what if we actually recognize the miracle of the best wine is the last wine, the aged wine, the oldest wine, those later years? You are still beginning again, and you are never too late to try the thing, start the thing, be the thing, no matter
Yes.
what age you might find yourself.
Yes, yes. And what a celebration. A celebration for this late arrival. Um, yeah, that allows the party to keep going.
Which is another good metaphor for life. Why does so often old age become, you know, just the decline of everything? I mean, there's reasons sometimes our bodies aren't doing the things they used to do, but we can still celebrate and find life in those later stages of anything, whether it's a person's life, the seasons we share. Yeah, I think we can. There's a good lesson in everyone serves the good wine first and then the inferior after, but you've kept the good wine until now. So, what is the good wine that's being kept for these later seasons of whatever we find ourselves
Right,
in?
right, or in ourselves. I think another place to perhaps pull apart is the "my hour has not yet come." So I've often
Mm.
thought, this was the first miracle, and maybe Jesus needed a little push. Maybe he wasn't quite ready
Mm.
to show himself or be himself.
Yeah, because Jesus seems to be a little snippy with his mom there. Mom says, "Hey, Jesus, they have no wine," and Jesus is like, "Woman, what concern is that? Is that to me and to you?" Like he calls his mom woman, which is probably less of a statement like we think of it today as it was then, but still, it reads as a little bit abrasive to me. And then my hour has not yet come. So stage fright for Jesus? Was he having a little bit of like, can I pull this off?
Right,
Yeah, he needed a nudge.
could have been a little stage fright, and again, Reverend Lankford, in her sermon said, the mom was like, "You think I didn't see you out there in the backyard making a little wine for you and your friends, and now you're acting like you can't do it, or you didn't think I saw you practicing walking on water?" So, Jesus is he's becoming God. He
Yes.
was a baby, just a few, weeks ago, and now he's at this family perhaps event with his cousins, and mom's asking me to do a thing, and I've done it in maybe this tiny way, and now she's asking me to do it in a bigger way and in a very public way, and I don't know if I can pull it off. And I thought that was really insightful as well, um, that he may have been testing out his powers, thinking that his mom wasn't noticing, but I'm sure moms notice stuff, right?
Moms notice
You
it
saw I
all.
think I saw
Yeah,
you didn't
that's
bring that
always
little dead bird back to life or whatever, you know? She was just making up all of this stuff, but it's,
child. I've been giving you a bath for 30 years and I've never once gotten you under the water. You keep walking on it. I know you can do this.
right, right. And when you think about it, he's maybe thinking about what is going on inside of me, these thoughts I'm having, these feelings I'm having. Something is shifting. And yeah, probably scared. My hour has not yet come. I don't feel completely confident, but when is he ever going to feel confident? And where else might you start your thing than at a family gathering, right? That's a lighter, maybe easier, more gracious place to fall on your face. So so many things to play with.
Oh, and I mean, and it maybe this is the nudge because in the Gospel of John, mom has him help the party, help the family not face embarrassment, help the community continue to celebrate and have life. I've come to have life that you may have life and have it to the fullest. We hear that later in John. So here is a glimpse of having life to the fullest because of this miracle. And then next week we're going to the temple and Jesus is having his temple tantrum and turning over tables. John puts that early in the story. And then we got Nicodemus in the everyone knows John 3:16. You should also read John 3:17 and his whole conversation. So we're about to get like the Jesus that we're used to seeing, and this is like a glimpse of the Jesus we're not used to seeing. The Jesus who's kind of like can I do it? How do I do it? And mom's like, boy, you can do it. Go do it.
That that is absolutely right, and it's what I love about the Gospel of John. There is this very kind of skin to skin, touchy feely human Jesus who's like so connected to his humanity and our humanity. And I think this story also reminds us, that when the text says God knows our name and numbers the hairs on our head, there's nothing too good for God to care about. Yes, God cares that you have delicious wine at the wedding. I know some people pray for parking spaces and think, oh, we shouldn't be bothering God with that. Um, God will let you know whether God wants to be bothered or not. I think the point is ask, right, for what you need when you need it, even if it seems absolutely silly and mundane. Um, this is the God who knows you by name and wants you to have abundant life.
Amen to that. Not a bad place to start. It's also a good Sunday when everyone should go out to brunch and have a glass of wine. Can you have wine for brunch? Usually it's more of a mimosa, but bring it on. Sparkling wine, it counts. That's this
Yeah,
Sunday. Um, or grape juice or sparkling juice. We're not imposing alcohol on people, but for anyone who thinks Jesus turned water to grape juice, read your Greek. It was wine. Um, this Sunday, we got a lot of good things happening. As always, we are inching our way into the new year. For those of you with eagle eyes that have been watching the past 3 videos, you'll notice that the backdrops and clothes have not changed on us. Good observation. Yes, you caught us. We recorded all these before the holiday season because, we got to do stuff sometimes. But still, this Sunday's going to be good, which I kind of love when we record way in advance because then it's like, what's going to actually happen on Sunday? It's always fun to see where you kind of evolve
right.
from these conversations
Sometimes
weeks to
it's
week.
completely not at all anything that we talked about because life happens,
But
the world happens.
what I love is that's a good example of how sermon writing happens. Sometimes you start here and this is feeling like something, and then 3 weeks later, this thing kind of comes in. And so, everybody, let's see what actually happens on Sunday and how aligned it is with this conversation. And enjoy this Sunday as always. We'll see you all the things. Bible study 9:30, coffee hour after worship, online, on site for both of those. Looking forward to another incredible Sunday and another time to share with you all.